Welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we're doing an Akashic Records reading on dolphins. I'm very excited to do this reading. I've been wanting to do a reading on dolphins for a very long time. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to an event, a group class that I'm hosting online called The Art of Channeling. It's on April 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. I'll put the information in the description box below. And I'm going to explain what channeling is, what it isn't, best practices. I'm going to share my entire process, the journey I went on to be able to do this with such ease. I love channeling. It's like my favorite thing in the world to do. And I also love channeling with a group of people. That's so much fun. So we're going to do a group exercise together so you can practice channeling whether you are a seasoned channeler or totally new or haven't done it before. And then there's going to be a bonus gift. So come check it out. Again, all the information will be in the description box below, and I can't wait to see you guys there. Earth Day. So in the spirit of Earth Day, dolphins, the Akashic Records on dolphins. So part of why this came up, I've always loved dolphins. There's been like all this kind of like personal cute stuff around dolphins for me over the years. And then last week, I came across a little film series with Benedict Cumberbatch for Prada's Re-Nylon program. Not so much about the fashion part, but I learned that oil drilling, the sound blasts from oil drilling and finding the places to drill kill our marine life. The blast of the sound not only messes with the sonar and like the communication of marine life, but the sound blast can be so powerful that they cause internal bleeding and then kill the animals. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I know so many other things about how horribly we impact our marine life, but that just kind of blew me away. And then I was at the beach and I saw dolphins on the ocean, and I was like, okay, forget it. Like, I feel like the dolphins want to talk to us. Let's go check in with the dolphins. So this is the Akashic Records on dolphins. There are a lot of questions. I shared in my newsletter that I was going to be doing this reading, and so I got some really great questions. If you do have ideas for topics to do readings on and you do have questions, sign up for my newsletter and email me, reply to me through there. I'll put that in the description box below too. So the questions that we're going to ask are, what are dolphins? How do dolphins contribute to the ecosystem? Like, what is their higher purpose here on Earth? Why do they interact with humans? This is one of the requested questions. So why do they interact with humans? And like, what is their relationship to us? And then on top of that, my friend was explaining to me something about sonar, their sonar, dolphin sonar, and human brain waves. So I'm going to ask them to explain how that, correlation, how we impact each other that way. And then there was something that my friend was saying about human mothers and sonar during pregnancy and working with dolphins and sonar to communicate something to babies in utero. So that was interesting. Never heard that before. I'm very curious to hear what that relationship is, what that connection is. How do sound blasts from oil drilling impact them? What messages do dolphins have for us? How can we help them the most? And then what surprise like characteristics or personality traits, like what are some surprise things about dolphins that we may not know, that we may have never been aware of? And then what's the most important message we need to know? So there's a lot of questions. We're going to go through them all. And again, thank you so much for contributing questions, because that's what makes this so much fun. Okay, what are dolphins? What are dolphins? they're like marine researchers of the sea, of like, they're like animal life. Like they study and research, like they weave in and out of the water, they go to the depths. They're kind of saying like students of life, above the sea and below the sea. They're just like, they're of such high intelligence. They're saying they're like students of life on earth. And their calls, they're like, it's a calling to be a dolphin. Because they're saying like the same ways that, you know, we go and explore space, but really haven't done that much exploration and research into our seas. It's like the way we go way up into space is the way that dolphins go, like exploring the waters. They're like marine life. So they're like studying marine life. Like their souls are meant to study life. They are students of life. And again, you know, their interactions with us and anything like on, you know, above sea level, like whatever they can see or interact with, but then also like everything below and everything in between. So dolphins are, they're like mammals of life on earth. They're just like, they're multifaceted creatures, multifaceted mammals. And it's why they're saying they like look like fish, but they're mammals. Like they're like land or sea. Like even though they can't be on land, they're just like land or sea. And they're showing them like swimming into the depths of the ocean and then like shooting back up and like playing. Like they just love to play. They're like weaving, researching, studying life. They're like soul mammals, but they're like most animal life. They're saying most animal life is like studying and researching human life and like what we're doing and how we're impacting things. Like they're doing their jobs, but they're also like paying attention to humanity and like what we're doing with our lives, like what we do with life. So they're saying like they're like mammals of life, of like marine life, above the sea, below the sea. Cool. How do dolphins contribute to the ecosystem? Like what is their higher purpose? I'm hearing like cleaning and clearing. Cleaning and clearing. Like dead things and debris. There's such a force of life, the speed at which they could move, the force at which they could move. And I just see them like cutting through the water and like clearing and cleaning. They're doing something with the surface level of the water. Erasing, racing and erasing. They like comb the seas. Can you guys explain that a little bit more? How do dolphins contribute to the ecosystem? What is their higher purpose? They're saying cleaning and clearing. But I'm getting that like, damn, if there wasn't so much human garbage, waste, and plastic on the surface, they would be able to be doing their job better. So they're cleaning the surface of like excess, like debris, but ideally it wouldn't be our waste, our garbage, our plastic trash. It would be like natural things that are on the surface of the water. And they're showing like in clearing it, it's like making sure that there isn't like a almost like a film of some sort of algae or something on the surface that is blocking light from coming through below the surface, that needs to come through for something else to grow. Like they're meant to be cleaning and clearing the surface, but it's so hard to do, and it's so hard to know these days, like what is like natural debris that they could either like force, push, clean, clear out of the way, or like if it was actually natural stuff, they could eat it without getting sick and dying and filling up with plastic. Like they have such a purpose on the surface level of the water to like keep things clear, keep things moving. And I'm even getting that like their sonar is almost like signals, like erasing, clearing, like loud noise or disruptive noise on the surface so that it doesn't interrupt and create vibration down below. And they're just like hardworking, like they're so hardworking. Their sonar is meant to help like erase or reset or clear like energy and vibrations at the top of the ocean. And they like jump out of the water and then they go really, really, really deep down. They check things out. Like, is it clear? Is it clear? And then like, and the way that they, travel in these groups is like they're like combing the surface. They're combing, they're moving, they're, like they're like as if you have like a dirty window or something, like for example, and it's like it's dirty and you can't see clearly on the window. Like they are like clearing that dirt so that there's a clear window so that the light can come through, for example. Wow. Anything else? What is their higher purpose? They're just saying cleaning and clearing debris. And we make their job super hard. Like I'm getting like they can't handle it. We've put so much crap on there that like it's stuff that they know they can't be ingesting or swallowing or taking in, like for example plastic or oil. Even they're saying like all of the stuff that we put in the ocean, like they are of a very high intelligence. They know that they can't consume that's not the kind of stuff that they can digest or clear. And it's really getting in the way of them doing their job. Even in clearing the vibration through their sonar on the surface level, like, they're like showing like floating blocks of some piece of debris the size of a car, and it just like blocks it. And they're like, they can't keep clearing the surface so that things are clear, like up and down in the depths to the sky. They're like, they just keep saying, the records keep saying hardworking. Like these are very hardworking mammals. Why do they interact with humans? Why do they interact with humans? And like, what is their relationship to humans? Why do they interact with humans? It's like they're saying friendly person, friendly people. Like they've just noticed that some more in the past, just like there is this development of almost like friendship, like friendliness. For a very long time, there was this like precious relationship when the interactions took place. And for the most part, that has been the case. However, in modern times, they're saying culling, like killing, trapping, like, just all the horrible things. They are referencing the Cove. If you can handle it, watch it. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But they're saying that has demolished the friendship and the relationship between human and dolphin. Because for a very long time, this was such a sacred, special, rare occasion for there to be an interaction and to have these bonds and these connections like in the wild, out in nature. And then it's like trapping them for entertainment, for shows, aquariums, things like that. They're like, sometimes like that's fine, like mostly not so much, but in the wild, there was a time when there was like interaction. So I'm getting that the relationship has changed. They are of very high intelligence. And so depending on, you know, which population of dolphins in the world you're connecting with, they know now, is this a friendly person or a dangerous person? Like I'm just getting like, they're really queued up on humans, person, people, they're saying like, they recognize if it's going to be a good time or if it's going to be a very bad time. Like dangerous, like they're gonna get hurt. But sometimes they're caught off guard, they're caught by surprise. So there was a friendly relationship. That's why they interact with humans. There was interspecies friendship between us and them. And it has been demolished by bad human behavior, people doing horrible things and killing them on purpose, by accident, like no matter what. But they are of such high intelligence that it's like, they're like, it goes so far. Like the message, the signal goes so far that like humans can be untrustworthy and they have to be careful. Very sad. So what's the relationship between dolphin sonar and human brainwaves? What is the connection between dolphin sonar and human brainwaves? Aww. They're cleaning and clearing us. Like if we were to be under the water and hear that, it's like the vibration of that is meant to, but it's two-way, right? So it's meant to like clear us. The sound kind of like infiltrates our bodies and like clears us, but it's also how they read us. So it's like, it's a deeper way to kind of sense like what's embodied in us. And it's like, are you a friendly person? Are you a dangerous person? And is this a good interaction? So that sonar, it's for brainwaves, it's like, they're saying like it goes to the body and it goes to the brain of the human. And it's like trying to be like trying to read the person, but also trying to help like clear the person so it can feel very clearing and cleansing. To feel that, the power of that in your system as a human. So then up a notch, with my friend's research about human mothers and sonar, dolphin sonar during pregnancy, when women did that or do that, what is that about? Oh, they're just like love, like this like motherhood relationship, this recognition as like they, because they're like sonar can like go through the body, like they know when there's like a life inside, another life inside of a human. They're like when there's two people in one. And so some of these like blasts of sonar are like, they're meant to like clean and clear, but it's also like, I get like the baby inside because they're even more in water, right? The baby inside gets really happy and is like, like, it's really cute, but it's almost like a gift. It's a gift. So that's why women have done it. And it's like, it's a little bit like, if it's like a safe person, like a willing person, like this is reciprocal. So it's like, it's not something that's like taken advantage of or abused, like when this has happened or when this happens. There's like such an intention, goodwill, and like openness to receive the sonar of the dolphin. And the dolphin is also like a willing participant in this. I'm like so curious to look into this now. But that's what they're saying. It's like this sweet little something, and then like the baby in the mommy's tummy is just like super, super happy. Like the baby loves it. It's like kind of a way for also like the dolphin to talk to the baby of just like, hey, like there's really cool stuff out here. Something about like safety. There's like messages that come through vibration. And so the intention and the message, this almost like a consciousness, messages through consciousness, through vibration, through the sonar, going into the mother's womb and then into the baby and then vibrating the baby. It's like giving, signaling, and information and messages, kind of like what the dolphin wants to tell the baby in this universal consciousness that we all share, that every living thing, every interconnection on this planet does share. So there is this, they're saying interconnections, communication, higher intelligence, but they're like, you know, of goodwill. Like two parties, both parties need to be in the same kind of intention for the dolphin to share the sonar, share the sound, for the mother to be open and loving to receive it, and, you know, the baby feeling safe to receive it as well. Great question. Okay. How do sound blasts, how do sound blasts from oil drilling impact them? They said hurtful. It is so painful. It is so painful. Ugh. So they just showed like, I feel like it's almost like getting hit by a car, the impact of it. So they're showing a dolphin swimming, and then suddenly one of those blasts, the sound blast, for the oil drilling comes through the water, and then you see this like huge kind of like bubble hitting them. And so they're going like full speed, and then suddenly they get hit by that, and like the dolphin gets totally thrown. But they're basically saying it's a bomb underwater. It's a bomb underwater. And they're showing like, it's like something so powerful, like a bomb, like getting hit by a car. And so suddenly like this dolphin is like getting slammed back. It is really sensitive and impacting like everything in their face. Like I'm seeing like blood coming out of the blowhole. Like it really is deeply harmful and negatively impactful on marine life. It is the equivalent of a bomb underwater. They're saying like almost like atomic level, the way that it destroys marine life. Yeah, I'm seeing like, even after the blast subsides, like it's almost like the side of my face hurts. Like I'm the dolphin and this whole side of my face hurts, and there's blood coming out of my blowhole, and like I feel like I got hit by a car. And there's all this internal damage. Whatever a part of my body is closest to, it's like internal damage, like ripples through the body. And it causes, they're saying, like ruptures of the internal organs. Like the skin, the barrier of marine life is not meant to withstand the power of that, the impact of that. That is so fucked up. Anything else around that? How do sound blasts from oil drilling? It's almost like deafening. It's deafening. You know, it impacts their ability to make noise, to sense, to hear noise, like everything. They're just saying like like functioning, like they go from these like highly intelligent, highly functioning sea creatures, sacred sea creatures, to being like, they're like, it's dumbfounding. Like they lose their ability, they lose their functioning, they lose their, basically their life, their ability to function. And it's the internal bleeding, but like even their ability to, you know, direct themselves underwater through sonar, like that gets affected. It's like being in a blast and going deaf and you have blood coming out of your ears. Like that's what's happening to them underwater. And like, it's not just dolphins, it's like everything underwater. God forbid anything being right near the blast, but even like miles away, it is felt. They're saying it's like it's a sickness. And they're like, it needs to stop, obviously. What messages do dolphins have for us? They just said, slow down. Take it easy. Anything else? Stand back. Back off. It's like they really wish that, unless we're like gentle creatures of the sea, unless we are gently and quietly interacting, fairly, they're saying, reasonably ourselves, like without this massive technology, if we could, like if we're planning to like fish, you know, they're like, for your life, they're like, we get it, eat your fish. But does it have to be in the ways that you're doing it? Does it have to be in the excess that you're doing it? Robbing, stealing. Like it's so, they're saying it's so ungrateful. There's no gratitude in it. There's no peace. There's no appreciation in it. It's just robbing and stealing. And they're saying culling and killing sea creatures. And the slow down, take it easy. It's like, if you want to come and like clean things up, like come in gentle ways to clean things up. Like if you want to help and clean things up, clean things up. But they're also like, they would love that help. And they're like, even if you just backed off and like got out of our seas and got out of our oceans, so that like, they're like, we could replenish, so that we could basically do our work without your interference, without your negative interactions, without your dangerous ways of living. Because I'm getting that like they're trying to figure out how to maintain the ecosystem by themselves, but they are constantly wasting effort and energy managing like people problems, managing the dangerous interactions with people and all the problems that we cause. So like they're constantly like, they're saying like dodging and weaving, not the dodging and weaving of like doing all the studying that they need to do, doing all the cleaning and clearing that they need to do. They're dodging and weaving the dangers of humanity, like us completely fucking up like their flow, their job, their purpose. Like we are so in the way. Okay. Anything else? What messages do dolphins have for us? They're saying back off. Like back off. They're like back off at sea level. Like almost like land people stay on land. Like respectful fishers, respectful fishermen, like come fish, come get your food. But there's too much like modern technology. There's too much like negative impact and negative interaction, and just too much. So how can we help dolphins the most? How can we help dolphins the most? Back off, listen to them. But they are showing people picking out plastic and garbage. And they want us to keep doing that. They want us to do that as best we can. There's something about poverty. They're saying impoverished communities all over the world. Some don't care about this at all, or like they can't care because they live in desperation in their lives. And so they're just recognizing like the sober reality of cruelty when a population is desperate and the things that they do for food. So they're saying like, there's like recognition of that. But they're saying that there are also like mass populations and like wealthy people living in the world that can afford to back off. And then they should. And it's almost like to let the impoverished populations, they're saying like, have their seafood, if you will. Whereas those who are not in dire conditions, like leave the sea life, that food for others like in the ocean, because it seems like what's happening is like the richest people of the world, the wealthiest people are taking way too much and wasting it. So they're showing like the balance in the sea of like sea life, knowing that in an ecosystem, as all living things, something eats something to survive. Like this is how it goes. But our human imbalances in, you know, food distribution and wealth, it's a little bit of like, if the wealthy populations could just like lay off the seas or take way less, because they're saying like we're not even like eating all the food that we're taking from the seas. We're wasting it, we're throwing it away, and there are impoverished people all over the world who need their fish for food, who fish for life, you know, for themselves and in their communities. And a lot of what's happening is out of desperation, as far as some of the like the very cruel things that humans do sometimes for food, and how they lose empathy for other living things for survival. And so they're saying that's understandable. However, our human imbalances of wealth really just create so much imbalance of like our ecosystems. And like people who already have too much and that are wasteful just keep taking and taking and taking for like those who could really use it. So if there's like a tiny like individual effort that we can make, how can we help them the most? They just said, don't eat seafood. Or like, not much. Or like, if you do, eat it all. Like, finish your food. Like, don't make waste out of seafood. Like, that is life. That is food for somebody else. And they're like bigger issue, bigger resistant issue, but it's something that you can do, and there are movements towards this. There are movements for this. But they're saying here, like, make the deeper connection, make deep connections here. Like, you like seafood, seafood's good for you, great. Eat the whole thing, eat all of it. And they're kind of like meat in general. Like, if you're gonna eat meat, eat it all. Like, don't waste meat. What's the surprise thing about dolphins that we don't know? What's the surprise thing about dolphins that we don't know? There's something about like angelic dolphins and how they play with bubbles, like making bubbles. but that even the bubbles that they're making is like clearing and cleaning, like cleaning and clearing. Like when they make bubbles, those bubbles, it's like part of their work, it's part of their play. But like energetically, the vibration of those bubbles, like if you were to receive, or if it were to like touch you, if you were underwater with them and it touched you, I'm just getting this like really like blissful state. Like I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like the vibration of it, like this is something that they do. They have these like almost like a little love bubble, but like if you were to touch it, it like I'm getting the sensation, and it's just like such a blissful state. It's like, oh my God. It's almost like, you know, getting like a really like sweet kiss that like on your cheek or something that like gives you a little bit of chills, but this is like underwater and it's from dolphins. So the way that they make bubbles and play with them, there is like an energetic vibration in those bubbles that would feel really blissful if you were to, you know, touch it or be near it, or be in it, you know, whatever. That's so cute. Oh my God. What's the most important message we need to know about dolphins? What's the most important message we need to know about dolphins? Like the tides are turning. They're showing like I'm in the ocean. There's almost like this board on the surface, and there's a dolphin underneath. And then it like turns. What is this? The tides are turning. Survival and like fast living. Like if you care about living things, all living things, wildlife, plants, animals, humans, of course, if you care about animals, we are coming into a time of like more desperation, more needs for survival. And it's like, don't forget about that. Like, don't forget about the animals in the ecosystem. I feel like this came up in another recent reading about don't forget about the animals. While we are going through hell, while we are on the brink of like survival, and our instincts kick in around survival, they're like, make room for the animals. Like, don't forget about them. Don't forget about taking care of them. Like, be conscious, be aware, be cautious. Like, take more care, be more careful about, you know, food intake, eating animals, protecting animals, restoring their habitats. Because the same way that we are impacted by wars and violence and climate change, obviously the animals are too. And they're such a very important, they're saying more important, they are. They're more important to the ecosystem because they do their jobs. And we're not really doing our job on the planet. We're not doing a good job of taking care of the planet. So there's just saying, be more conscious and more aware of animals and animal behavior, and paying attention to changes, bring awareness to causes that you care about. So like how to get involved, expeditions and trips that you can take, the gentle ones, the ones that are very, very cautious, education, research, studying. Like if you want to partake in these things, clean up plastic, clean up the beaches. They're like, don't throw your plastic garbage all over the place. There's a lot in our system, in our systems with waste and removal and recycling. They're like bullshit, like all these things that we could take better care of doing. And so if you're feeling called, if you feel called in any direction in a powerful way, to move in a powerful way, they're saying this is the time for more movement on that. To like, you're not just fighting for people rights, you're not just fighting for humanity, you're fighting for the planet. You're fighting for plants and animals, food, our ecosystems, like everything that lets us live, everything that lets us survive and thrive on this planet. Every living thing on this planet, except humans, knows their purpose. They know where they belong in the ecosystem. They do their job, and we are getting in their way. So how can we stay out of their way, but also gently help make their work easier? How can we clean things up? So they're like, yeah, clean up plastic. And marine biologists, they're like, do all these things. Like, do you want to get into that stuff? Are you feeling that calling? Is it like pulling on your heart? They're like, go for it. Go for it. Anything else? What's the most important message? Sonar, soul connection, friendships, dolphins, humans. We were friends. We have been friends, and sometimes we are still friends. But we've done some damage. We've demolished some of those relationships, and they're like, you know, we're paying for it. They're paying for it. And eventually we're going to pay for it. So, one last time, back off. Back off, gentle help. Okay? Oh, dolphins. I hope you enjoyed that and learned some interesting things. Let me know if you know any cool facts about dolphins that you want to share. I'm so curious. There's so many cool things about dolphins. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.